that have been in their lives for a long time.
Andrew, let me build on that. And, you mentioned that a lot of New York's problems don't have a silver bullet solution. And I'm curious what the organizing principles are behind this mayoral campaign. So, with the last national effort, I could summarize Yang as focusing on automation, basic income. Opposite of Trump is a guy who likes math. I'm curious, what are the bullet points for the New York campaign?
The bullet points for the New York campaign, number one is New York City has to become the fastest post-COVID comeback city in the country. If it does not do that, then we are going to face very, very dark times for a long time. And I'm a numbers guy, so here are some of the numbers that have struck me like thunderbolts. Over 25,000 New York City residents have died. I think it may be up to 26,000 or so because people are dying every day. So people are losing their friends, neighbors, loved ones. Over 500,000 have been infected. 60 million tourists who would have shown up in 2020 did not show up. And they supported over 300,000 jobs of various types. And you can imagine those jobs are, it's like bus tour operator, Broadway usher. Over 10,000 small businesses and restaurants have closed, never to reopen. At least there's no plan for them to reopen. Subway ridership is down over 60%. Midtown real estate is about 80% vacant. The unemployment rate is double that of the national average. So if you look at the concerns are freaking everywhere, and you can feel it everywhere you go. So when you're in that situation, you look up and say, okay, at what point do vaccinations reach a point where everyone's commuting back in and things are more like they were pre-pandemic? And I'm of the opinion that if New York City does not lead that charge, that recovery is going to be very ragged. I think there are a lot of folks, another number I should have thrown out there, about 250,000 New York City residents have left the city. And there are another, I'm sure, a similar number who right now are weighing whether this is where they're going to be. I have a friend who said to me that one of his key employees came to him and said, "Hey, my wife wants to leave." And then he's like, that conversation is happening in a lot of different environments. So New York City needs to try to accelerate the recovery from COVID, and it's not going well so far, where the vaccination rollout has not been great. I think it's improving as we speak. So this is a very long-winded bullet, Tom, of saying post-COVID comeback recovery city is number one. And I think folks have probably heard that what I'm going to use New York City as like the vanguard for is vaccination passport, where you're going to have on your smartphone, look, I got vaccinated, and then you can just scan it and then go into the theater, show, bar, restaurant, club. Like for New York City to be the post-COVID comeback city, it's going to be the first place where people can gather conscientiously and safely and take their mask off. Because, if everyone in the room has been vaccinated, you're feeling pretty good at that point. So that's number one. Number two is that a lot of the things that I wanted to run on in terms of anti-poverty, we're going to make happen here in New York City. So three of the things that I've already proposed is $1 billion in basic income. Very excited about that. That's going to be great fun. And Martin Luther King III is co-chairing my campaign. So I feel like that's a great thing on MLK weekend. We're going to try to get high-speed internet to the 29% of New Yorkers who don't have it, because if you don't have data at this point, like it's another form of poverty. And we're going to try to get the 12% of New Yorkers who don't have financial services a bank account. And if you're unbanked or underbanked, you're spending thousands of dollars extra on check cashers and money lenders and the rest of it. And I just made an announcement this morning that that New York City and its, let's call it $85 billion budget, will not do business with banks that don't accept New York City ID as a way to open a bank account, because then that's going to include a lot of folks who are undocumented and immigrants or children of immigrants. So those are the first two pillars, Tom. And then the third is just going to be fucking competence. It's like the problem like a lot of people are facing is just like, you just don't have any confidence that the city is actually executing at a high level. And like, it's just kind of like this miasma of you know, like uh, of confusion sometimes. I mean, it's a very, very bad feeling. I know as a parent too, it's like I talked to Evelyn about like the school's decision making, and they just have like meetings about meetings over and over again. And everyone's like, just tell me what the hell like the highlight decision point's going to be. You know, so the third thing is really is just going to be the like look like I'm going to be an efficient operator. Like, you know, we're going to try to make the bureaucracies function better, more responsively. You know, like we're going to have people like one thing as an example, I want to have a small business recovery czar and task them saying we are going to reopen 15,000 businesses in year one. And just have them, it's like, look, your information is going to be posted and any small business owner should be able to get in touch with you. And then just, you know what I mean? It's like you have like the soulless intake, then like no, you know, everyone's like just goes into some queue somewhere. It's like this is the human. This person's accountable to you. And then what's going to happen is that person's going to get bombarded, obviously, with lots of stuff. And then they'll have to build like an org to like help accommodate the fire hose. You know, I'd much rather that situation than the no one knows who's responsible situation.
Thanks, Andrew. That sounds really compelling, and I'm a little jealous that we won't get your help in other cities, but excited to see that applied in the greatest city in the country.